All right, we're here at Arcaro and Genell's Takeaway Kitchen. Randy Wolf, the head coach for the Western Wayne Wildcats, and coach a very successful week one. You got to feel really good about that, but I'm sure you had to refocus this week because new opponent, it's GAR. So let's first talk about your first win against Carbondale area.
It was a great win for the school district. Great win for the team. Going against a tough opponent, we know that Carbondale was very well skilled. A lot of kids coming back, a lot of experience, very well coached. So the kids prepared very hard, knowing the result from last year. They beat us pretty good on their field. We were excited for the challenge.
Talk about a new quarterback this year, so that's a whole other developmental thing that you have to do. But talk about your quarterback and then the guys around him that helped him out a little bit.
Yeah, we had to replace Scotty Walk, who was one of the best quarterbacks in school history. So the kid who came in as a sophomore, we had a couple of kids battle in camp, and they battled really hard. It was a very close competition. Matt Valanda ended up winning the job. Came out and did a fantastic job managing the game, making the throws he needed to make, put the kids in position to make plays, which is all we asked them to do. A lot of that couldn't have been done though without the offensive line, who really blocked well and gave them a lot of confidence out there.
Now you got to focus on GAR, so they were on the other end of a game last week. They'll be hungry like a wounded bear, I'm sure. But at the same time, and you guys come off a big win on your end. So two dynamics. You got to keep your guys grounded. You got to get a little bit better, though, right?
Absolutely. I told the kids that the other day. They're like a wounded animal. I mean, they have a lot of skill. Everywhere on the field, they have kids who can catch the ball and run for a touchdown, or right from the snap of the ball. The quarterback is a phenomenal athlete. We really got to be able to stay focused. Week one was a great win, but that's over now. We have 10 weeks that we want to win, one at a time, to be able to compete at a high level.
How about defensively? You have to feel pretty pleased there.
Yeah, anytime you have a shutout, it's a positive for the team. I think going into camp we had a little bit better numbers compared to last year, to where I couldn't be as competitive during camp and as physical. And I think it showed the first couple weeks that we weren't a real physical football team on defense. I thought this time, week one, knowing how physical Carbondale could be, I think our kids accepted the challenge, brought the physicality that we had in camp right into week one, and hopefully that'll continue for the rest of the season.
I'm sure you're pleased with your entire football team. But how about a couple standout Wildcats for week one,
Sure.
guys who stepped up?
Sure. A couple of kids that I have here with me today, Cole Fuller, who is a guy who can carry the ball for us and also play D-tackle. He's a big boy. When he starts rumbling downhill, he's a big fellow to bring down. Two boys on the outside are Scotty's brothers, actually, Dylan and Bailey Walk. Did a great job on the outside making plays for us and catching the ball. Defensively, Ben Burkhart, AJ Marone played well for us. Charles Lukey played well defensively. I was very pleased with the overall effort, and the thing that was nice about Friday, no one really stood out. We had multiple kids score touchdowns, run the ball, touch the ball on offense. Defensively, we were around the ball defensively as a team, great team pursuit, and we're able to be pretty physical. So, you like to have people who stand out, but I think overall it was a great team effort.
Let's talk about the coaching tree. Some guys that you got some experience with and coaching with them. I know a lot of the coaches have a lot of respect for you and said you're a pretty sharp guy, and I'm sure you give some credit to your own staff that you have now as well.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, I appreciate all the kind words, but a head coach is only as good as his staff. So I'm very lucky to have some great coaching experience. Someone like Dave Baker, who's been coaching football for 20-some years. Tim Hess is a former head coach on my staff. Shane Godek is from Western Wayne, knows the area well, been coaching there, played there. So very lucky to have a gamut of coaches on my staff. And where I came from in North Pocono, learning under Nick Donato, and then obviously being able to coach with Keith for 17 years up at Delaware Valley, it really helped me grow as a coach and as an individual.
Randy Wolf with the Western Wayne Wildcats. Coach, thanks so much for coming in here.
Thanks for having me.
Ben Burkhart joining us from the Western Wayne Wildcats football team. Ben, big win. Week one, talk about all the positives that you took out of the Carbondale area game.
We played really well defensively. We had a nice game. We had a lot of younger guys step up and play important roles, and we're just ready to go out and compete at a higher level.
Talk about some of the guys around you in the backfield this year.
In the backfield, we have Kobe Sauter, who he's started since his freshman year in the backfield. He's doing really well. Cole Fuller, big guy, he's making holes and he's doing a great job there. We also have Danny Boots. He's also a senior, and he's coming through and stepping up in a big way for us.
What's this guy named Ben Burkhart do for the team?
I run a little bit of running back and a little bit of fullback. I do what I can do. I'm behind Cole at fullback, but we run some power I, and I go in with him there. We try to make some holes and do what we can to get some yards.
Defense really stepped up game one. Talk about some players there you thought made some good plays.
Defensively, again, Cole, he stepped up. I think he had a sack or two. He played really well. Bailey Walk stepped up. He had 2 sacks. The secondary played very well. They didn't give up many passing yards at all. Kobe Sauter played very well. Dylan Walk played very well. AJ Marone, another inside linebacker, he played very well. And it all worked together as a very good defensive unit.
You're a busy guy. You're track and field. You're involved with the FBLA, National Honor Society. So talk about the balancing act that you're able to do. Academically, 5th in your class. Impressive.
I go home and I have support by my parents. They help me out and they're keeping me on a tight schedule. They've taught me always to do my homework, and sometimes I have to stay up late and do homework and spend some time doing other things. It just works out. It's the entire high school experience.
3.9 GPA is not too shabby, that's for sure. Life after high school, what's the next step for you? Still poking around a little bit?
Yeah, I'm looking around. I'm looking for a 4-year college. I would like to play football at the next level if I can, see what I can do.
Parents are people that really set the tone for you. Talk about little things your parents do that kind of make you the person that you are.
My parents have taught me to be the best person I can be. They've taught me to push myself, and they've taught me to keep a schedule with things so I can learn to keep football with my grades and keep everything up to par and do as well as I can.
Well, Ben, continued success this year for the Western Wayne Wildcats, and congratulations on that first win. GAR, I'm sure you're waiting for them, right?
Yes, sir.
Cole Fuller joining us from the Western Wayne Wildcats here on the John Mendola Show at Arcaro Genell's Takeaway Kitchen. And Cole, your coach is talking about you, your teammates are talking about you, so let's hear you talk about you. What do you do out there on the football field?
When I get out there, I just remember, what all my coaches tell me. And I just really try to stick to, they set me up for success, and, I figure if I just do what they tell me, I can just go out there all good.
Some players in week 1 that you thought stepped up?
I think that Matt Verlanda undoubtedly stepped up because he's coming in as, a sophomore quarterback, and we expected him to do what a sophomore quarterback would do, but he rose up, and I think he did fantastic.
How about the offensive line, being able to put up some points? Talk about them.
The offensive line, they've been a long time in the making. They're all the same year basically, and now they're juniors this year. They've gotten a little stronger. They're all bigger. They're more experienced, and I think that the offensive line is going to be a huge deal this year.
Randy Wolf, your head coach, talk about his mindset as a coach and what he tries to get out of you guys.
Coach Wolf, he doesn't expect us to do everything perfectly all the time, and he doesn't expect us, ever to do badly. He'll always set us up for success. But the one thing about Coach Wolf is that as long as you try your 100%, he'll look after you and he'll make sure you're doing all the right things.
Let's talk about your position on the offense, playing some fullback. How about guys running the ball, whether it's you or other guys? Who's doing it effectively?
Obviously, I think that Kobe Sauter is a great running back, but I think that, Ben Burkhart and Danny Boots are also fantastic running backs, especially Danny Boots. If you just have him run through the line, I think he can go for a lot of yards after contact.
Let's talk about your siblings. You got a few of them, and everybody's older. So what did you learn from your siblings?
I learned that, I just had to be tough. They're always older than me. They're always, stronger and bigger. And I just learned that, if I want people to respect me, I just gotta be as strong as I can.
Writing and history, your favorite subjects. What in particular you like about both of those?
I think that, the history of the world is the greatest story ever written, and I think that a lot of things can be achieved. Writing can be like just a great thing for people to have as a skill.
And overall, and that's not something that everybody likes, by the way, the writing component, especially nowadays. As far as college, the next step for you, do you have a major or something you're thinking about?
I'm kind of undecided about a major right now, but I'm definitely going to go to college.
Wrestling and track. So talk about how you do in each of those sports as well.
In wrestling, I made it to states last year. I got to the round of 12 before I was eliminated. Wrestling has always been my, a good sport for me. I've done it my whole life. Instead of football, I just joined recently. I just broke, the 100 win barrier there, so that was a very fun thing.
Congratulations. Not many wrestlers ever get to do that.
Yeah.
And how about track? Something you stay in shape with, or something you really like to excel at? The Wildcats have a pretty good track and field team.
They sure do. I think track is just something that I just kind of joined, not really knowing what was going to be what. And it's something that I actually like to make myself better at,
Well, congratulations on a week 1 win, and of course we wish you the best the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Bailey Walk joining us from the Western Wayne Wildcats football team, and Bailey, a lot of tradition with football in your family. Your brother, of course, was a heck of a quarterback. I'm sure you miss him.
Yeah.
Just playing with him, being around him. He's at Temple University right now. He's got big goals going forward, but you and your brother get to play for Western Wayne together, so talk about how special that is right now.
Yeah, it's very special. Me and Dylan have a great bond and a great connection with each other. So on the field, it's like playing in the backyard with each other. We know like where each other's going to be. So it's a great connection.
Overall, that first win, and again, your brother graduating, a new quarterback coming in, but some of your teammates had kudos for that sophomore quarterback.
Yeah, Matt Philander, he did very well. Very surprised. He handled it perfectly. I was very impressed with him.
Coach Wolf, talk about your relationship you have with him, a guy who's been around the game of football for quite some time.
Oh yeah, Coach Wolf he's a great coach. He's always willing to help the player no matter what it is. He's always there for you. He's a great coach.
How about your role on the team this year, whether it's offensively or defensively? What is Coach saying, okay, Bailey, this is what you got to do?
A lot on defense, being one of the returning starters, So I'm out there, I have to perform as well as I should.
As far as your other siblings, we talked a little bit about Scotty, but let's talk a little bit about the other two.
Dylan has a big impact on this season. He's very good in the secondary, so see what he brings to the table this season.
And how about Julian?
Julian, he's on the freshman team, so he's building, he's learning the playbook, and he's getting the plays down. So when he gets to varsity, hopefully he can start know everything.
So your senior year, thinking, okay, I gotta probably do the college thing. Are you kind of wide open right now on that whole idea?
I'm not 100% sure on where I'm set, but we have visited Temple a lot just because of Scott. So Temple's kind of like got my interest a little bit, but I'm open for now.
And how about an area of study? Have you kind of narrowed that down yet? Or?
I want to be in the state police, like my father. So.
All right, awesome. And talk about your father being a role model and being there for you.
He's a big role model. He's a very hard worker. I wish when I grow up and I have kids, I can be half the man he is. So he's great.
Talk about little things you think that he has taught you over time, you and your brothers.
I can't count the countless hours he's had with us outside, teaching us how to throw football since when we were younger, or running, or teaching us how to catch, or always putting in the time for us to become better athletes. It really paid off.
As far as the biggest rivalry, Honesdale seems like it's it. That's when you go to Western Wayne and Honesdale, I guess those two always do it. Talk about what it's like to play the Hornets.
It's a big game. Yeah, it's just all that energy, it's a rival. But as far as I'm concerned about them, we'll worry about them week 5 or 6. But right now we're worried about GAR.
As far as some players that you saw in week 1 step up, there are a few off the top of your head you could say you really liked. I know you mentioned your quarterback already, but how about a couple other guys?
Did well. Cole Fuller always plays to expectations. He's a true beast out there. But Cole did very well. So did a bunch of other players. But.
Well, we wish you continued success. I know you're a very good student in the classroom, so keep that going, much like your brother, and have a great season.
All right, thank you.